Clavicular's secret already lies in his name, the clavicle. If you look at his clavicles compared to the average guy's clavicles, you can immediately spot a few differences. And it's not about the shape, it's about the orientation in space. To understand this better, you can simplify it by looking at just 2 points. The starting point in the middle, where both clavicles connect to the sternum, and the end point of the outside, where they connect to the shoulder blade. Now, starting with the point in the middle, clav's upper sternum is in line with the lower ribs, while in the average person, this starting point is positioned far back relative to the lower ribs. Then, if we look at the end point, from the front, the difference becomes even clearer. Clav's clavicles are horizontal to the floor, while the average clavicles run from the middle upwards toward the sides. And sometimes one side is even higher than the other, especially if there is a mild scoliosis present. Now, looking at it from above, Clavicular's clavicles are straight. You could draw a clean line from one to the other. But in the average person, the clavicles move from the middle back, creating more of a triangular shape. And if the clavicles are directed back, it automatically indicates that the scapula is shortened and back towards the spine. This is where the real difference comes in. Clavicular has a decent coordination of movement. The average person, on the other hand, is constantly retracting the shoulder blades back and up every time they move, walk or sit down. That means the back and especially the thoracolumbar fascia is shortening every single day. And over time the person is moving further and further in the wrong direction. Pulling the shoulders back and up doesn't just affect structure, it also affects how you look. It creates that anxious, non-confident appearance. And instead of a natural V-shape, it often results in a reversed V-shape, where the top is narrow and the bottom is wider, or sometimes just box-shaped. That's why people feel the need to artificially make their shoulders look bigger, sometimes even more than Clavicular himself with his exaggerated shoulder pads. And it doesn't stop there. This pattern has consequences all the way up into the neck and face. For example, the platysma, which is connected to the clavicles, is a fascial structure that runs all the way up to the mandible. If this fascia is tight and shortened, it affects circulation, and over time this can lead to a puffy face. As a second consequence, the mandible at the back begins to rise, and the chin can gradually form backwards toward the neck. So the question is, how do you solve it? First, remove trap pulls from your training, if you are doing them. Then understand this. Because the clavicle is connected via fascia to the scapula, you can influence it by driving the scapula forward, out and down. You do this by internally rotating the arm and bringing the elbow forward, out and down. As a result, the hand will turn so that the thumb points inward, the front of the palm face backward, and the back of the palm face forward. All of this needs to be coordinated with the lower ribs moving back and up. And there is one more important piece. Lower your tongue. Why? Because there is a muscle connected from the hyoid bone all the way back to the scapula, called the omohyoid muscle. And since the tongue is attached to the hyoid bone, raising the tongue will lift the hyoid bone, which in turn lifts the scapula. That is exactly what we don't want. So if you actually start paying attention to these small things, you will realize that posture is not about forcing positions, it's about coordinating the whole system in the right direction. And once you understand that, you stop chasing isolated fixes and start changing the way your body works as a whole. If you want to go deeper into this and actually apply it correctly, you can find more on postureispower.com or book a one-on-one lesson via Zoom. And if this opened your eyes even a bit, share it with someone who is still stuck pulling their shoulders back, so they don't keep going in the wrong direction without even realizing it.